Most brainstorming sessions produce a list but no decision. There's a 3-step filter that changes that. It removes your authority from the decision and gets you to one decision, one owner, and one deadline in under 10 minutes with no sticky notes. In this video, we're going to look at each step. Brainstorming feels productive, but it often ends with a list and no committed next step. This isn't a people problem, it's a process problem. The 3-step filter fixes it by keeping selection anonymous and by requiring the facilitator to move step by step with no commentary in between. The first step is called collect, and it solves the authority bias problem before anyone speaks. Everyone writes ideas in complete silence for exactly 3 minutes, using one idea per sticky note or scrap of paper. There's no discussion, no building on each other's suggestions, and no reading the room to see what direction the group is taking. Silence removes evaluation apprehension entirely because no one is watching you write. This is called evaluation apprehension, and it's a documented effect in group decision research. So the strange ideas and the bold ideas arrive on paper just as often as the safe ones. After the 3 minutes are up, each person reads their ideas aloud in one sentence each, without debate or commentary from anyone else. The facilitator places every idea on the wall or table, maintaining physical equality so no idea looks bigger or smaller than another. This step respects individual thought and prevents dominant voices from shaping the pool before selection even begins. The main constraint is that you must stick to 3 minutes and don't allow anyone to elaborate while ideas are being read aloud, because elaboration is where authority bias sneaks back in. If someone says they love an idea, or asks a clarifying question at that point, the facilitator should pause and remind the room that questions come later. The goal of Collect is to create a complete inventory of individual thinking before the group starts reacting. When every idea is written silently first, the loudest voice in the room loses its advantage, and the quietest voice gets the same visual weight as every other contribution. You don't need sticky notes. Scrap paper, index cards, or even the back of a handout work perfectly well. Collecting ideas silently is only half the battle. The real test comes when the group has to choose which ideas survive without anyone seeing who cut what. The second step is called filter, and this is where the group narrows the list without anyone knowing who removed what. Everyone simply turns their paper over and writes down the ideas they would cut. That elimination is completely anonymous, so no one knows who removed what, which protects the social fabric of the team while allowing the group to make hard choices they normally avoid in open discussion. After the cuts are collected, the facilitator tallies which ideas survived. The remaining ideas then get a fast feasibility test. An idea stays only if it can be tested in 1 week or less with the people currently in this room. If the answer is yes, the idea stays. Otherwise, it goes into a parking lot for later discussion rather than clogging the current decision. The group then gives quick feedback on every idea that made it through, but the facilitator never reveals who said what. That keeps the focus on the idea itself rather than on whoever suggested it or whoever criticized it. Anonymous filtering is the heart of this step because your authority gets removed from the decision process while the group makes honest cuts without political cost. When the team sees which ideas survived the anonymous vote, the result carries more legitimacy than any single person declaring a winner, because the group owns the outcome rather than deferring to rank. Special tools aren't necessary for this step. A folded piece of paper works perfectly well. The facilitator simply collects the anonymous cuts, counts what remains, and moves the surviving ideas forward without ceremony. The parking lot matters because it gives large or complex ideas a respectful home instead of killing them in front of the group. That means people are more willing to propose ambitious ideas during the collect phase because they know big ideas won't be ridiculed in public. Filtering gives you a shortlist, but a shortlist is still not a decision. The third step turns the final ideas into real commitments with a single owner and a 1-week deadline. The third step is called commit, and it turns a shortlist into a real decision with a pre-mortem. For every idea that remains, the group spends 5 minutes imagining that it's 1 month from now and the idea has failed. The group identifies what went wrong, which surfaces hidden risks without blame because the failure hasn't happened yet. An example, the team imagines the idea failed because no one had time to follow up, which reveals that the real blocker was a missing owner. Not a bad idea. You keep it practical by naming the failure in plain words like no time, no data, no access, or no one answered. Then you write the top risks down so they don't vanish once the room gets excited. Therefore, the group asks what would have to be true for the idea to succeed, which shifts everyone from critic mode into problem-solving mode and makes the team co-own the decision before it's even made. After the pre-mortem, the team ranks the surviving ideas by 2 criteria. They pick the idea with the highest impact if it works, and the one that can be started today with the resources already available. That idea becomes the committed action. You then assign one owner who returns in 1 week with results, not just progress updates. One idea gets one owner and 1 week to produce results. That's the commitment mechanism, which works by removing the ambiguity that normally kills execution after a brainstorm ends. The pre-mortem is particularly important because it lets the team voice concerns without attacking whoever proposed the idea, which means the decision lands with fewer hidden reservations. When the owner comes back in 1 week, the loop closes, and the team learns that the filter produced a decision worth keeping. This step is what separates a brainstorm that feels productive from a brainstorm that actually produces outcomes. The commitment happens because the group has already imagined failure together and chosen the idea offering the best risk-reward balance. If you skip the pre-mortem, you'll often see a team enthusiastically agree to an idea in the room and then quietly let it die the following week because nobody actually pressure tested it against reality. The 1-week reporting window is the final piece of the puzzle because it creates urgency without drama and gives the team a concrete milestone to evaluate if the filter is working for them. The 3-step filter has a simple rhythm: collect in silence, filter in secret, and commit with a pre-mortem. In the next video, we'll look at how to shut down side conversations without calling people out. If you have any questions about the filter, feel free to write a comment below.